Count of Alençon bellowed, "Ride down this rabble who block our advance," at which point the first contingent of knights charged forward and unceremoniously cut down their own infantry.
What?
This pointless exertion bogged down the knightly advance.
The French, the snobby French, went and slayed their own Nah, bro. Nah. Continuing where we left off, 100 Years' War, Battle of Crécy.
1345 saw the first major English military venture into Gascony, with several thousand men under the Earl of Derby retaking Bergerac and then defeating a French counterattack in October.
Damn.
This action gave Edward time to plan and amass his forces in England. He sailed from Porchester in July of 1346 and landed at the Norman town of La Hogue with a large army, much to the surprise of the local population. This new theatre of war in Normandy was virgin land heretofore untouched by the conflict, and because of that, its devastation would massively affect any taxation that the Valois king hoped to extract from it. In addition, the destruction would diminish Philippe's prestige and hopefully goad him into an ill-considered battle. Whether Edward actually planned to campaign in Normandy is a matter of debate though, with some historians even claiming that the plan was to campaign in Gascony, but was thwarted by unfavourable winds. Whatever the case, the English army rested for the night, then set off at dawn, launching a blistering chevauchée throughout the Cotentin Peninsula. Normandy's rich countryside was intentionally ruined. Mills, barns and orchards were burned, while barrels of—
This is a fairly modern way of fighting warfare. It's kind of rare for someone to realize the strategic importance of production value and actually target that.
Wine were smashed or stolen. Nothing was to be left for the French. Edward III reached Caen on July 26th, but despite accepting the garrison's surrender, his army raped, plundered, torched and killed without quarter.
Damn. That's... Damn. I was not expecting to hear that. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That took me aback. That really took me aback. And the French don't talk about this. The French don't talk about this. The French always loves to bring up significant significant events from their history, and they don't bring this up. You'd expect the French to, slander the English of this. I mean, to be fair, the French probably did the exact same thing. So, I don't know, probably.
When the 3-day sack
I was not expecting that.
3,000 townspeople were dead, and the king began sending barges filled with looted riches back to his kingdom.
Wow, that's...
As a wave of terrified refugees fled before him, the English king marched inland towards Paris. At the same time, Philippe VI had received word of the landing and was massing a large army near Saint-Denis. However, it wasn't ready for battle yet, and therefore couldn't intervene as Edward reached Poissy, from where he sent raiding parties out to burn Saint-Cloud and Saint-Germain within sight of Paris's very walls. The English had shown Philippe's subjects that he couldn't protect them, and began marching north again. But now the French army began chasing them, and only narrowly missed an opportunity to pin Edward on the Somme's south bank. After he managed to cross, the now campaign-hardened army of England encamped in the forest of Crécy on August 26, 1346. Though Edward had managed to evade Philippe's larger army so far, the Valois monarch's vanguard was getting unnervingly close, so his Plantagenet foe prepared to turn and fight. After a brief reconnaissance, a plan was devised. As Philippe's host, The flower of medieval Europe slowly got closer. Edward drew up his now reduced forces on an elevated ridge between Crécy and Ouedicourt, which looked south into a valley, daring the French to try and knock him off it. Exact figures for army size are impossible to calculate, but Edward's was probably just over 14,000 strong, made up of 2,500 chainmail-clad men-at-arms and dismounted knights, 2,500 spearmen, and 3,250 light cavalry, known as hobilars. A further 7,000 were England's lethal archery corps.
Oh, the longbow!
And armor-piercing bodkin arrows.
The longbow, isn't this like the reason why England completely destroyed France in like, I don't know, like the first half of the 100 Years' War? It was because the freaking longbowmen. Bro, these men were just built different.
Of Edward I, every English village had been tasked with contributing men to the National Reserve of Archers precisely for this kind of battle, and were legally obliged to train in the longbow's use each week.
Oof.
This force was divided into 3 groups. 2 were in front on the left and right. The former was commanded by Earls Arundel and Northampton, while they followed Edward III's son, the 16-year-old Black Prince, into battle. The King's division remained in the rear as a strategic reserve. All 3 had infantry in the centre and longbowmen on the flanks, while fronted by a series of pits, trenches and stakes to serve as a defence. Edward went in among his men, inspiring and encouraging them, so that men who were inclined to cowardice became brave, whilst also warning them not to plunder until he gave permission, as doing so would endanger the army. Morale and discipline taken care of, the king allowed his troops to break ranks so they could sit, eat and replenish their strength before battle was joined. The king himself took up command of the field on an elevated windmill near his reserve division. Philippe's strung-out French army began its approach by late afternoon, consisting
that's a
of
very
troops,
yeah, that's
12,000 mounted knights, 12,000 infantry, and 6,000 crossbowmen.
Those knights, though, French knights, freaking juggernaut of Europe. French knights, although I'm pretty sure they're gonna get mowed down by the crossbow. The crossbow. Those crossbows were just, in their early days, they were just monster, man.
Since the sun,
like machine guns in their early days,
was
man.
Exhausted from the day's march, Francis Valois King intended to heed the counsel of his outriders to encamp for the night and attack at dawn, when the soldiers would be better rested and prepared. However, a combination of chivalric pride and Philippe's lack of control created a situation where he had to attack.
At Harbor Freight,
it was close to 6 p.m. by the time Valois contingents began their assault. First to advance up the ridge were the Genoese and French crossbowmen, who lacked their protective Pavese shields.
Bad idea. I don't like that.
As they went forward, a short but incredibly intense thunderstorm soaked the battlefield, slowing them down. The English longbowmen had the longer range, and as soon as the crossbowmen were within it, they stepped forward and let loose a storm of arrows, slaying a great number of their French counterparts and setting the rest to flight.
Oh my gosh, dude, those English longbowmen, man. Oh my goodness, bro. That was a bad idea, bro. Oh my gosh, completely demolished them. Why would you send crossbowmen when your enemy has longbows? Obviously the longbows has more range, bro.
Witnessing what they had saw as detestable cowardice from their fleeing skirmishers, the Count of Alençon bellowed, "Ride down this rabble who block our advance," at which point the first contingent of knights charged forward and unceremoniously cut down their own infantry.
What?
This pointless exertion bogged down the knightly advance.
The French, the snobby French, went and slayed their own Nah, bro. Nah. You can't get more snobby than this. I'm sorry. You can't. Bro, I knew French people were snobby, but like, holy, bro. You can't get more snobby than this. What? Going as far as slaying your own karma. Bro, I hope they get mowed down by the longbowmen just for that.
And left it struggling at the base of the ridge. At this range, the longbowmen loosed with deadly precision, slaying the French and panicking their horses.
Yeah, do it.
Helped by 3 organ guns, which made a clamour of noise. Though some of the heavily armoured warriors managed to reach the English line, they were hacked to pieces by dismounted knights. The first charge had been a complete disaster, but the day was not yet over. Undaunted by the initial failure, France's mounted knights continued to mount charges on the English line, putting particular pressure on the English right flank, where the young Black Prince was almost killed. Almost surrounded by the superior numbers of his enemy, the Black Prince sent for help from his father, who refused and famously stated, "Let the boy win his spurs, for I want him, please God, to have all the glory." After a while, however, the king did send 20 hand-picked knights to assist his son, who found that the Black Prince's contingent had already managed to repulse the charge and were now recovering before the enemy returned. In a subsequent attack, the blind King of Bohemia, John, ordered his knights to tie their horses to his own and let
is this music again?
This charge began well, managing to get past the archers, but they were then all cut down by the English infantry. The French unsuccessfully charged 15 times in all, each becoming more disorganized than the last. As the battle progressed, even Philippe VI himself joined the fighting. He was injured by an arrow and had more than 1 horse killed under him before the battle finally calmed.
And he didn't, wow.
The disaster that was unfolding, one of the Valois king's vassals persuaded him to withdraw. He did so reluctantly, fleeing with what was left of his army to a nearby royal chateau and...
Bro. This could have been all avoided if the French just simply were not snobby. Like, I'm sorry, but this level of snobbiness is literally what freaking... It's completely lost the French the battle. Like,
then all the way to Amiens.
My goodness, man.
In the dark, the English slept on their ridge, not realizing just how much of a terrible toll they had inflicted on the French. They had lost less than 100 men, while Philippe had lost over 10,000, including 1,500 lords and knights.
Dude, that is the most... Dude, holy, dude, I've done so many reactions, but this is the most insane casualty ratio that I've ever... What? 100 to 10,000? Holy... That is absolutely mad.
While Edward III's tired troops were in no position to chase Philippe, he had gained a great victory and wanted to exploit it.
Golly! All because the French were snobby.
The French princes who fell in the battle. The English army marched north, sacking...
Alright. We're gonna keep this video short. But yeah, I'm gonna end it off here. This is a good time to end it off here. Holy dude. I think this is good. Because I want people to see this reaction. I'm gonna keep the video short for that reason. Because that was the most insane, one of the most insane reactions that I've probably done. So if you made it all the way here, if you have any suggestions for me, like and subscribe. Make sure you comment down the suggestions for me in the comment below. Eventually I will do it. If you want to join my channel membership for 99 cents a month, man, 99 cents a month. How you gonna have 99 cents a month to join? 99 cents per month. Okay, if you join my channel membership, 99 cents per month, I'll be able to react to your suggestions much more quicker, give you more priority and whatnot. So yeah, go consider it. You know, thank you for watching, man, and goodbye.